two, uno, dos, tres. It's pie for the people, the kind you like to eat. It's pie for the people, savory, way too sweet. See you there for 1, 2, 3. They're piled on the table to be served more graciously. Donate if you're able. Wash your plate before you leave. See you there for 1, 2, 3. You can have it gluten-free or vegan, vegetarian, dairy-free or vegan. For 1, 2, 3, let's make a day, and you'll see it was worth the wait. W-A-I-T, pie for the people, the kind you like to eat. It's pie for the people, savory or way too sweet. See you there for 1, 2, 3. With the locals, making new connections for a good cause, scarfing down confections. For 1, 2, 3, we'll see you there. It's not free, so give what's fair. It's pie for the people, the kind you like to eat. It's pie for the people, savory or way too sweet. See you there for 1, 2, 3. We'll be there for 1, 2, 3. See you there for 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
What Citizen Farm Worker Family does, we are here in this world to inform the public about the unjust and inequitable situation of farm workers. We basically have modern day slavery in our own backyard. But what's different is that rather than plantation owners owning these people, the state has created rules, regulations, uh, legislation of all kinds, agricultural exceptionalism, etc., that keep these people trapped and from which escape is nearly impossible. And they're always the last ones considered. Look at this Pajaro levee breach. They knew since 1995 that this was going to happen again. And rather than repair it like it should have been done, they ignored it, and now we have all of this suffering going on in Pajaro, where people lost everything. One father was walking around Pajaro sobbing because he'd spent 14 years in the field buying furniture for his family, and unfortunately, it was all destroyed. That's the kind of thing we see. So our primary focus now is getting relief for Pajaro. I'm happy to say that Robert Rivas and a group of other enlightened legislators have introduced AB 513, Relief for Pajaro, and this will give undocumented farm workers, and by the way, the majority of farm workers in Pajaro are undocumented statewide. The minimum number I've ever heard of is 60%. And in Watsonville, sometimes I hear figures as high as 83%. And yet we depend on them for our very survival because they provide us with food. So that's our number one concern at this point. And I literally spend my entire day answering phone calls from farm workers who are in despair because they have no food for their children, no clothes, basically nothing. And what we've been doing is buying lots of Target gift cards so that they can go to one store and get food and clothing to replace whatever they've lost. And people have been incredibly generous. So I'm really happy to say that we're passing out a lot of these gift cards. We've even had a day where we wrote $500 checks to a whole bunch of families that are the most destitute. So that's the number one priority. Number two priority is to get rid of pesticides. In this county, we must get rid of pesticides. You would not believe the number of farm workers I meet who have at least one child with some kind of anomaly caused by exposure to pesticides. Cancer, especially leukemia, ADHD, autism spectrum, um, birth defects, children born with no ears, also learning disabilities. And this is especially cruel because I've never met a farm worker that doesn't want their children educated and out of farm work. So by exposing them to pesticides, they lose their ability to compete in this system and probably can never get the career that their parents hope for them. So those are our two big issues at the moment. We have a group called CORA, Campaign for Organic Regenerative Agriculture. We're meeting with Justin Cummings on Wednesday, and I'm going to introduce him to a farm worker mother who has a 12-year-old daughter with terminal bone cancer. I want him to see what I see almost daily. So